Hello, and welcome to Whisper English. I'm so glad you're here. If your mind has been racing lately, if you've been stuck in loops of worry, regret, or endless what ifs, then this space is for you. Today, we're going to slow everything down. No pressure, no judgment, just a gentle moment to breathe, to listen, and to let go. Overthinking doesn't mean you're weak, it means you care deeply. But you don't have to carry everything alone. So find a quiet spot, make yourself comfortable, and let these words be your soft reminder. You are not your thoughts. You are the calm beneath them. Let's begin. Have you ever felt like your mind was louder than the world around you? You sit in silence, maybe with a cup of tea or in a quiet room, but inside, it's anything but calm. A sentence someone said plays on repeat. A choice you made starts to feel uncertain. A future moment that hasn't happened yet begins to shape itself in your imagination again and again. This is overthinking. And if you're reading this, you probably know it well. You're not alone. Many of us carry busy minds. We think about what went wrong, what might go wrong, and what we wish had gone right. We imagine conversations that never happen. We relive the past and pre-live the future, all while the present quietly waits for us to return. But let me offer you this truth gently. Overthinking doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It simply means you care. You care about making the right choices. You care about the people in your life. You care about not messing things up. Caring is beautiful, but too much thinking can start to feel like a weight. Not a useful tool, just a loop. A swirl of questions without clear answers. So today, let's slow down. Let's talk not only about what overthinking is, but how to quiet it lovingly step by step, breath by breath. You don't have to fix everything at once. Just stay with me here, and let's walk through it together. The mind is, at its core, a storyteller. It's constantly weaving narratives, replaying memories, imagining the future, and trying often desperately to make sense of the world around you. Its main job isn't to torment you, even when it feels that way. Its job is to protect you, to solve problems, to predict danger, to create meaning and order in a world that sometimes feels unpredictable and chaotic. So, when your mind starts racing with thoughts, what if this happens? What if I fail? What if they don't understand me? It's not doing so to hurt you. It's doing what it was designed to do: keep you safe. But here's the gentle truth. There's a big difference between thinking about life and actually living it. And when the mind becomes too busy, too loud, too full of questions and doubts, something gets lost. You start feeling disconnected from the moment. You stop listening to your heart. You become tangled in thoughts instead of grounded in reality. Sometimes, the more we think, the less we actually feel. The more we analyze every possible option, the harder it is to trust our own instincts. Overthinking becomes like trying to read every possible version of a book before you choose which one to write. You get caught in loops. You wait for certainty, but certainty never really comes. The truth is, The mind is always trying to guarantee safety in a world that rarely offers guarantees. And that's okay. That's human. But you don't have to let that be your only way of living. Here's something no one tells us enough. You don't need to have everything figured out before you take the first step. You don't need the perfect plan. You don't need to predict every single outcome. You are allowed to move forward with a little uncertainty in your pocket and a little courage in your heart. Think about it. Have you ever looked back at something you once worried deeply about, only to realize later, that wasn't as bad as I thought? Or maybe you spent hours preparing, rehearsing, and bracing for something only to discover that all the mental effort didn't actually change the outcome. That's because thinking, while useful, has its limits. True wisdom often doesn't come from thinking more. It comes from acting. It comes from trusting. It comes from being here, in this moment with your breath, with your body, with your full awareness. Your presence is wiser than your overthinking. And every time you return to it, you return to yourself. Here's something no one tells us enough. You don't need to have everything figured out before you take the first step. You don't need the perfect plan. You don't need to predict every single outcome. You are allowed to move forward with a little uncertainty in your pocket and a little courage in your heart. Think about it. Have you ever looked back at something you once worried deeply about, only to realize later, that wasn't as bad as I thought? Or maybe you spent hours preparing, rehearsing, and bracing for something only to discover that all the mental effort didn't actually change the outcome. That's because thinking, while useful, has its limits. True wisdom often doesn't come from thinking more. It comes from acting. It comes from trusting. It comes from being here, in this moment with your breath, with your body, with your full awareness. Your presence is wiser than your overthinking. And every time you return to it, you return to yourself. Overthinking isn't just mentally draining, it's emotionally exhausting too. It's not simply the act of processing thoughts or solving problems. It's the act of replaying emotions again and again without closure. Each time we overthink, we're not just thinking, we're reliving, re-feeling, and re-carrying the emotional weight tied to those thoughts. Think about it. When you dwell on a past mistake, you don't just remember it, you re-feel the guilt, the shame, the regret, as if it's happening all over again. When you imagine being rejected, even before anything has happened, you pre-feel the sting of that pain. You brace for impact. When someone doesn't respond, and you begin to analyze their silence, you don't stay neutral. You preload yourself with fear, with self-doubt, with stories of what could be wrong. And all of that, those waves of emotion, stacked on top of one another, build up. It's no wonder you feel tired. It's no wonder your chest feels tight or your sleep feels shallow. That's a lot to carry, and still, you carry it because somewhere deep down, you believe that if you just think hard enough, if you analyze enough, worry enough, prepare enough, you might prevent pain. You might avoid disappointment. But most of the time, That's not what's happening. What we're really doing is rehearsing pain before it even arrives. We're experiencing the suffering without ever facing the situation itself. And often, that pain never even comes, but the exhaustion from preparing for it stays. Here's something you need to hear. You don't have to do that to yourself. You don't have to carry pain before it's real. You don't have to punish yourself with mental rehearsals of the worst-case scenario. You deserve something gentler. You deserve rest. You deserve the kind of peace that doesn't depend on everything being perfect, but instead flows from the way you choose to meet this moment. So what's the way out? It starts with awareness. It starts with catching yourself in the loop, noticing when your thoughts are spiraling and gently saying, I don't need to go down that road today. It starts with allowing yourself to pause, breathe, and return to what is real, not what is imagined. It starts with offering yourself compassion. You are not your thoughts, and you are allowed to lay them down, even for just a little while. Sometimes, what we need isn't a solution, it's a softer way of being. When your mind feels loud, busy, or overwhelmed, try not to fight it. Instead, gently guide it back to presence, one small step at a time. These gentle practices are not rigid rules or pressure to get it right, but gentle invitations to reconnect with yourself. They're not here to fix you because you're not broken, but to offer paths you can walk when the world inside your head feels too heavy. Begin by pausing. When thoughts swirl and your inner dialogue speeds up, don't chase them or try to force silence. Just stop. Breathe deeply in through your nose, out through your mouth, and observe. No judgment, no fixing. Simply say to yourself, I see you. In that small moment of awareness, space opens, and within space, healing begins. When the mind spins in every direction, come back with something tangible. A grounding list helps. Small sensory actions like walking slowly outdoors, holding your heart, sipping tea, or listening to birdsong. Keep these close. When the noise builds, return to one of these anchors with intention. They gently bring you home to your body, your breath, your now. In moments of worry, ask gently, what's real right now? Not in the past, not in imagined futures, but here. Are you breathing? Are you safe? Are you okay in this single moment? Often, the answer is yes. Truth has a steadying energy. When you return to it, your mind softens its grip. You are not living your whole life at once, just one breath at a time. Sometimes, the mind needs to pour itself out. Take a piece of paper and write. No filter, no perfection. Let the worries and chaos find their way out of your head and onto the page. When you're done, fold it. Say quietly, I don't have to carry this all today. You might place it in a drawer or release it in some small ritual. It's not about erasing, only about choosing a little more lightness. And when it all feels like too much, let one sentence hold you. I am allowed to not have all the answers. Place it where your eyes can land on it often. Let it be a soft truth when perfection presses in. You are growing. Forgetting is human. Remembering even for a breath is healing. What you need isn't control, but kindness, especially from yourself. One of the most liberating truths we can ever learn is this: you are not your thoughts. Let that sink in for a moment. You are not the worries that pass through your mind. You are not the doubts, the fears, or the judgments that arise. Those are just thoughts, fleeting, ever-changing, like weather patterns in the sky. You are not the weather. You are the sky itself. Imagine, for a moment, that your thoughts are like clouds drifting across a vast, open sky. Some clouds are soft and wispy. Others are dark and heavy. Some pass quickly. Others linger. But no matter how many clouds come and go, they never change the sky. The sky remains wide, still, and unshaken. And that sky is you. Even on the stormiest of days, even when your mind is full of noise or confusion, the sky is still there. You are still there. Your awareness, your presence remains untouched by the passing chaos. You are not the storm. You are the space in which the storm happens. So when difficult thoughts arise, try not to fight them. Fighting only gives them more power. Instead, watch them with kindness. Let them come. Let them go. You don't have to hold on to them. You don't have to believe every thought that appears. Some thoughts are helpful. Others are just habits of the mind. You can notice them without becoming them. Be gentle with yourself. Be curious. Ask, what is this thought trying to tell me? And then return again and again to the breath. Your breath is like a thread that ties you to the present. It is always here, waiting to guide you back home. You are not your thoughts. You are the one watching. You are the awareness behind it all. And that is something steady, something deep, something beautiful. Let's pause and gently explore something deeper. Why do we overthink in the first place? It's not because there's something wrong with you. It's because, somewhere along the way, you've been hurt. You've experienced confusion, disappointment, and perhaps even betrayal. You've faced moments in life where things didn't go as planned, and the pain of that uncertainty taught your mind to become extra careful. You were raised in a world that praised performance, that encouraged perfection, that rewarded achievement and punished mistakes. So now, your mind does what it believes will protect you. It plans, it analyzes, it replays, it creates scenarios. It tries to prepare you for everything, believing that if it can just think enough, you'll be safe from harm. But true safety doesn't come from rehearsing life in your head. It doesn't come from mentally reliving every what if. Real safety is something softer, something deeper. It's not found in prediction. It's found in resilience. It's the quiet knowing that, whatever happens, even if it's difficult or unexpected, you will find a way through it. That kind of strength does not live in the loops of your thoughts. It lives in your heart. It lives in your breath. It lives in the unshakable part of you that has already survived so much. So the next time you catch yourself spiraling into thought, overanalyzing every possibility, try whispering something kind to yourself. I will handle it when it happens. I don't need to live it now. This isn't denial, it's trust. It's the kind of inner strength that doesn't rely on certainty to feel safe. And that, my friend, is a quiet kind of power, one that has always been within you. Let's take a moment to talk about something many of us carry silently, this quiet but powerful doubt. I don't trust myself. Maybe you don't trust yourself to make the right choice. Maybe you hesitate to speak up because you're afraid of saying the wrong thing. Maybe letting go feels impossible, or moving forward feels like a risk you're not ready to take. You question your own intuition. You second guess your heart. And it's exhausting, isn't it? But here's something gentle and hopeful to hold on to. Self-trust isn't something you're born with or without. It's something you build slowly, softly, through experience. And you don't have to wait until you feel brave to begin. In fact, the real rebuilding happens when you act despite the fear. Every time you take a small step forward, even if your voice shakes or your hands tremble, you are telling yourself, I am capable, I am trying, I am learning. It's not about being fearless. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up as you are and choosing to move anyway, one honest step at a time. One breath that brings you back to the present. One kind decision, made not out of pressure but out of love for yourself. And the beautiful part, you don't have to do it all today. You just have to begin. And when tomorrow comes, you begin again. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to grow slowly. You are allowed to make mistakes along the way. Healing isn't linear. Trust isn't instant. But day by day, you are rebuilding something strong, not because you never fall, but because you always rise, gently, again and again. The present moment is not always easy to sit with. Sometimes it feels uncomfortable, uncertain, or even unfamiliar, especially when our minds have gotten used to escaping into imagined futures or reliving past regrets. But no matter how difficult the present may seem, it is always the most real place we can be. It's the only place where healing is possible, where growth can begin, and where love can truly be felt. Overthinking often pulls us away from this space, dragging us into what ifs and if onlys. But the present is where life is actually happening, right here, right now. This moment, no matter how simple, is sacred. It's the ground beneath your feet, the air in your lungs. The rhythm of your breath reminds you that you are alive. So take a deep breath and gently come back. Let your eyes rest on what's around you. Notice the texture of the ground, the softness of a blanket, the way light falls through the window. Feel your breath rising and falling. Listen closely. Maybe there's birdsong outside, or the hum of distant life, or the simple silence that says, you are here. Pay attention to the color of the sky. Touch something, your shirt, a cup of tea, a leaf, with presence and care. These little moments may seem small, but they are the gateways back to now. And this is where peace can be found, not in control, in certainty, but in presence. This moment is not just something to get through, it's something to be lived. It's a quiet invitation to belong to your own life again. You don't need to do anything special. You don't need to figure everything out. Just come back. Come back again and again. That is life. And you, beautiful soul, are a part of it. You don't have to become someone who never overthinks. You don't have to force your mind to be silent. You only have to return, gently, again and again, to the breath, to your body, to the truth that you are already enough. Overthinking is not who you are. It's just a pattern you've practiced. And patterns can be unlearned. So tonight, if your thoughts start spinning, don't fight them. Don't fear them. Just breathe and say softly, I've thought enough for today. I choose peace now. That's enough. You are doing your best. And that is always enough.